Yeah, we're good to go.
All right, counting us in 3, 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Charge Shots Gamecast. I'm your host, Ben, aka the Marvelous Iggy, and joining me is Justin. Say hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
Yes, thank you, Puppet. And joining us is Tyler, Chief Godzillologist. Tyler, welcome back, buddy.
I have a question, Ben, concerning fighting games. How does Shermie see through all that hair? Like, her bangs completely cover her eyes. How does she see? And what is her secret?
How does 2B see through her bandana? That's my answer to you. That's
Fair.
Exactly my answer to you. She just does. She exists.
Maybe it's Sonar
Anyways,
Daredevil.
Probably. I have no idea who Shermie is. I'm not that low. I'm not into the SNK side of fighting game stuff. I don't know their crazy lore or whatever. Everything. I just know Terry Bogard says, "Come on!" That's all I know. And that Iori is an asshole. That's all I know. Anyways, we are at Charge Shots Gamecast. We are a Gamecast dedicated to bringing up the news and gaming and the games we've been playing this week. So let's kick it off right now. Justin, what have you? Where are you? Are you here? I don't know. It doesn't matter. What have you been playing this week?
A lot of Ratchet and Clank. So my saga continues. I think had I started going commando last week, I think I quit the first game and started going commando. Like just started it last week. I'm pretty sure because I did that the same day.
That's a bold approach, dude. I don't know if I could go commando.
I'm going commando right now.
I didn't need to know that.
Hey, this is a podcast. You don't have to know what's underneath.
And now
this.
he's going up your arsenal.
Oh, it's true. I already went commando. Now I'm going. Yeah, that works. Now I'm going up your arsenal. Anyway, so yeah, I've been playing a lot more Ratchet and Clank. Pretty much nothing else, honestly. But I've been trying to blow through those games to share my thoughts and get the video out. Because I didn't really, like, in hindsight, I didn't really think about the fact of, like, recording my thoughts on the games as I go means, like, the entire process is stretched out, because normally I'd, like, be working on other videos and, you know, just record the stuff, make a script, whatever. And then I'd just sit down, edit it, and put it out. But I'm basically doing it in chunks where, like, I'm kind of seeing what I have so far, cutting it down, seeing how long it is, and then, you know, doing the next game. So, like, I'm kind of live editing it as I play so that I know, like, how much I can ramble. Because it's funny, I said up top, I was like, I wanted to do the series as 2 separate videos with, like, the PS2 era and then the PS3 era, so that instead of, like, an hour-long video, it'll be, like, maybe a half-hour-long video. It's probably going to be an hour-long video on just the first 3. Whoops.
It'll probably pump the Persona video by a long shot.
I mean, yeah, but that's on one game. Like, that's 26 minutes on one game.
Fair.
So, if I do an hour on 3, I think that's reasonable, at least. But, yeah. I have more thoughts than I thought I would. That works. So I don't really want to, like, touch on it too much. Going commando is infinitely better than the first game. I do realize, like, how that, you know, how saying going commando sounds out of context, but whatever.
Hey man, they did that shit on purpose.
I know. The ones that don't have pun names like that really bother me, actually. Like, what is it? I don't remember. There's one I have.
There one
that
got axed because it was too lewd.
Oh yeah, there was that one. I think that became A Crack in Time, right?
Probably.
Or no, it was Into the Nexus, because they had, like, a really inappropriate name, I think, and then they just settled with Into the Nexus, which doesn't. That's the one I was thinking of. It's not even, like, a pun or anything.
Like, it's not sexual enough.
Right. It's nothing. Unless I'm missing something, because I'm the same person that didn't realize.
Unless Nexus is a euphemism for asshole, then I don't know.
Maybe, but I like back when South Park: The Fractured But Whole came out. I didn't realize that was a pun name, so you know.
It's South Park. That's a given.
Yeah, but I didn't say it correctly. Like, if you say the fractured but whole, like, yeah, you hear it. But I say the fractured but whole. So, like, it's not emphasizing the butt part, you know? You got to emphasize the butt.
You always got to emphasize the butt.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what that title is supposed to be. But anyway, beside the fact, Going Commando is great. It's a little long. Like, I kind of gave up on getting everything, and it was still like 15 hours or so to the credits. And with a game like that, where it's just a lot of run and gun shooting, it gets a little old after a while. But I still really enjoyed it. I'll have more thoughts, you know, when the video is out. I don't want to harp on it too much. But me and Thomas also played a little bit more Outriders. And I don't remember if this was in the last week, but we did do it again in the last week to get his dad through the mission. But there's a really cool boss fight against like a giant like spider boss in a volcano. Or at least there's like magma and stuff. I don't know if it's actually a volcano, but I think it is. And it's a fairly traditional boss fight, but it has like 3 phases, and you have to like break off the carapace on it to just expose weaknesses to do like way more damage. And in the final form, he becomes like this giant like four-skinned penis, and just kind of like wiggles around like in the middle of the volcano, and you have to like shoot at the weak spots up its shaft, and it's really cool. It's a cool boss fight, and it like lets out little spiders throughout, and yeah, I don't know. It's like a lot of these, you know, looter shooter games kind of just have generic bullet sponge bosses, but I think this one actually has some really unique takes on that. They're more like puzzles with multiple phases, and like some actual like platforming, kind of like dodge the weapon fire type like puzzle sections involved. It's really cool.
Cool.
And I did not talk about this last week because Tyler wasn't here, but a little while before, Tyler helped me build a few decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! The mobile game, like the Duel Links.
Duel Links.
Yeah. And they're really cool. Like, we had a lot of fun just kind of going through and like unlocking a bunch of decks. Like, he told me what would be good for me. I told him I wanted to basically just do a dragon deck because I love dragons. And so we did like a whole like Blue Eyes White Dragon deck that's like broken.
It's pretty busted. Everyone uses it, and we also threw in Cyber Dark Dragon just for funsies.
Yeah. So basically, like, anything you do, like, there's like 5 cards in there that you can just instantly summon a Blue Eyes, and then there's some that like can summon from your graveyard, and then there's others that basically sacrifice a monster on the field or in your hand to the graveyard. So all of those things combined means you basically always have a Blue Eyes on hand to summon. And then there's 3 Blue Eyes in the deck, so there's like always a Blue Eyes in reserve, even if you've already put yours in the graveyard, and you know, it's yeah. And then we made
almost like Kaiba made this game or something.
Right? And then we made a Red Eyes deck too, but it wasn't as cool. It had some good stuff in it, but I definitely like the Blue Eyes one more. But as we were talking about it, like it didn't really register me at first, I guess, that this is like kind of a fast take on the series. Like, your decks are capped at 30 cards, but preferred to be 20. There's only 3 rows on the field instead of like, what is it, 5, 6, something like that.
Yeah, there's 5 monster and spell and trap zones, and there's also they also added an extra monster zone back in 2017 for like monsters that come from the extra deck.
Is that those 2 like kind of up in the middle?
Yeah, they're specifically made for Link monsters because they had restricted Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz for the Link monsters to put emphasis on those guys, but they later nerfed it for last year, so you can just spam that shit all you want now.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so anyway, we were talking about how like that's the fast version, and like it was cool. Like, we dueled each other, you know, I won, it's whatever.
I had a crappy hand, so that's
Yeah,
why I
exactly.
lost.
He helped me build my deck, so like he knew it was going to be too good. But I went ahead and got the Legacy of the Duelist game, like the big like PC one.
Nice.
And I was kind of like I was just grinding through some of like the story stuff just to, unlock cards and whatnot, but I got kind of bored of that part. Like I was playing the original like Yu-Gi-Oh story, so it's stuff I know because I used to watch that cartoon. But the presentation on it is just bland.
Yeah, it kind of is. The thing that kills me the most is that there's no voice acting,
Right.
and for the brain scenario, there is no story.
Really?
Yeah, since it was just like haphazardly added in the 2020 expansion, where they pretty much just buffed all the old extra deck monsters again. They added in the story for Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, quote unquote, but there are no cutscenes or dialogue or anything. You just jump into the duels and that's it.
Oh, yeah, that's dumb. But like, it was kind of fun at first because I was using the actual like story decks for the battles, and so it's like you're actually kind of reliving those battles. Like if you remember them from the cartoon and stuff, you can actually like do those same things again.
Like the literal first duel, you're just trying to get Exodia in your hand, and that shit's dope.
Yeah, it's really cool. But it kind of broke me when there was I was playing as Pegasus, and he has like a whole toon deck.
Kai the boy.
And I really hated his story deck. Like it was so annoying dealing with the toon cards and stuff, because they have their own weird quirks and whatnot.
You just gotta get rid of Toon World, bro.
No, I was him though.
Oh
Yeah, fighting him was also really annoying.
Toon World, bro.
Yeah. So like I didn't really like his deck, so I went ahead and like checked all my cards and built my own kind of like starter deck, using some of the knowledge that you'd kind of taught me from Duel Links. And I made a pretty decent deck with like 43 cards. I think I went a little long with it, but and I started using that for the story missions, but then it was kind of easy because my cards were way better than anything they were throwing at me, so it was like 3-round victories and it wasn't that exciting. And then I had the actual like championship fight against Pegasus, and he got his what is that thing called? The like castle thing.
I believe it's relinquished.
Yeah, he got relinquished out, which basically takes one of your cards and makes the stats of relinquished those. So every time I put something out, he would take it. And I would
just wait until you get to the 5Ds story.
Oh no.
just don't sink or summon during that. You'll be fine.
Okay. But yeah, so like I couldn't do anything. Because I knew that if I destroyed whatever card he had, like I didn't have anything stronger because he would take my strongest thing. And so like basically what you have to do is use 2 cards against it. So you destroy it with one, and then the next one you can destroy relinquished. But he kept taking my strongest card, so I couldn't destroy it. So I managed to get like 4 like defense monsters out there. And I had kind of tricked relinquished into taking like my really strong defense monster. So no one was attacking me. So like I just kind of built up my monsters and was able to knock all his out, and then but it was like I think we were up to like 15-ish turns, and I was just so done. So I haven't really gone back to it since I beat that story mission, but that was before Ratchet and Clank took over my life.
We should probably like set up a thing where you play through a story and I can probably like walk you through strategies or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You probably voice act all the story segments.
Yeah, it might make the story stuff more bearable, that's for sure.
Just wait until we get to the Orichalco stuff. I'll just pull out my dumb Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged impressions.
Is it Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged? I'd heard about the Dragon Ball Z.
Oh,
abridged.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the progenitor of that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have the bridge series without that one. It's great. That's where you've probably heard the meme, screw the rules, I have money. That's where that comes from.
Oh, okay. See, because like I never watched the Dragon Ball abridged stuff because I don't have any attachment to Dragon Ball, but I would watch a Yu-Gi-Oh abridged. That sounds cool.
It's fun. Rough at the beginning, but it definitely gets better at around season 2-ish.
He finds his footing.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it, though. Like I said, it's been just a lot of Ratchet and Clank, and I mean, I could talk about that more, but I'm already recording my reactions, so I've talked about it plenty. I don't really feel the need to.
All right, Tyler, what have you been playing this week, buddy?
Okay, so Justin was just speaking about classic mascot platformers earlier, and I found one on sale on PSN recently that's a bit more obscure than Ratchet and Clank. It's called Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and I actually have a bit of attachment with this one because back when I first got the GameCube in 2003, I think, maybe 2002, that was one of the games that my mom got for me because, you know, the game was named after me, so, you know, it made sense in her mind. And back then I found it was a pretty interesting platformer. I hadn't really played it since, never really got far because I sucked at video games back then. But yeah, I got this one on my PS5 on because it was on sale. It's usually like $30, but I got it for like 20. And it's a pretty solid 3D platformer. Like the game I would probably compare this one to the most would probably be Banjo-Kazooie, except if Banjo-Kazooie wasn't from Britain and from Australia, because that's the whole backdrop of this game. Like, he plays a Tasmanian tiger named Ty, and he attacks things with boomerangs. You start with one at the beginning, but when you beat the tutorial level, he gains another one, and you can throw up to 2 boomerangs at once. And they actually track pretty well. Like, you don't have to aim with it. There is an aiming reticle that you can hold down to throw things more accurately. But if you're dealing with like the chump enemies, which are pretty much just giant walking lizards, you can just throw your boomerang without thinking, and it would just bop them. He also has a short-range bite attack, which has a bit of startup unless you mash it when you're near like multiple targets. And the basic collectibles in this game, because this is a collectathon a la Banjo-Kazooie or Donkey Kong 64 or games like that. Your main collectibles are Thunder Eggs, which are pretty much the jiggies of this game. And those are used to get the 5 MacGuffin items, which are used to unlock boss fights. I've already completed the first world, which consisted of 3 or 4 levels. I don't think I counted tutorial level. So you basically like do like these little bitty missions, find Thunder Eggs or opals, which are your other main collectibles, which are pretty much the musical notes from Banjo-Kazooie. And once you collect enough Thunder Eggs, it gains you access to a boss fight. I've only gotten to like the first one so far because I've only played this for like a little bit. So the one weird thing I found about this boss fight system is that if you die in it, if you did damage to the boss earlier in the fight, it still acts as if they still took the damage. So you can just die and respawn as if nothing happened. So
nice.
That's like the opposite of Ratchet and Clank. That makes you not only redo the boss, but go back like 5 miles of progress.
So yeah, despite being an Australian made game, this is probably one of the easier platformers I played. But that's yet to be seen. I've only cleared the first world so far. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing aside from like Duel Links and Legacy of the Duelist, which I also got on PC recently, just so I can duel Justin one of these days. So yeah, that's.
I thought you already had it.
I had it for Switch and PS4, but okay. I just got it for PC so I can duel you.
I forgot it was a console thing. Honestly, I just defaulted to PC because that was the way I could find the cheapest code.
Yeah, I usually play it on my Switch when I'm on break at work.
That makes sense. Is it like cross save or anything?
It does not.
Oh, that's annoying.
Like, I don't mind playing through all the duels and stuff, even if I'm not limited to the personal decks that I made in there. I can still have fun with breaking things with Exodia or, God forbid, any of the early Dark Magician stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Tyler, for that. All right, so I think I can please report no Monster Hunter this week. I broke my addiction. So yeah, I do want to play it more, but right now with the games that I kind of need a party to play, so it's just been hard to do that. I know. But besides that, I only really played 2 games this week. I had an extended weekend because of a family function that got canceled, so I was able to just chill Saturday and Sunday. And so that led me to pretty much dive fully into, first off, Narita Boy. This is a newly released indie game. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It's also on Switch. It's like $25, so not that expensive. But Narita Boy, now that I've beaten it, I beat it this morning, like around 12 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock. This game is an experience. It's basically about this program guy who is basically being seduced by this evil being called him. And pretty much the digital kingdom that he's created is under threat. So you're kind of like Narita Boy is a program that was created to stop him. So he's like a knight. He's like a superhero. And so throughout the journey, you have to basically reawaken the creator, your dad, Narita Boy, and you find out later why he's called Narita Boy, the origins. I'll kind of go into that in a minute. Basically, you have to revive his memories by playing through the game and awaken past thoughts of him to like, oh, okay, I know how to shut down, because Narita Boy can only slow down him versus the creator's the one who can actually put the kibosh. And this is basically like science, like high sci-fi fantasy, where like it's all very much like there's a lot of like medieval kind of stuff, imagery with like swords and helmets and horses. But like just color everywhere. Just like, what if we let Daft Punk make a video game and let them do like medieval like type setting without making look medieval? And that's what it is. I will say this: if you photosensitive, you probably won't want to play this game because it's a lot of flashing lights. So unfortunately, I have to put that disclaimer that may prevent you from playing the game, and I don't think there's a way to turn it off. So the goal of Narita Boy is to basically unify these 3 houses: red, yellow, and red, blue, and yellow. The 3 houses.
Fire on the 3 houses.
The trichoma, as they're called, and you use the trichoma sword, which is a 3-bladed. It's a blade with those 3 colors on it, and pretty much it's like a standard action game. You can attack. You eventually get a dodge, you get a shoulder bash, you get an uppercut, you get a down slash. It's pretty standard stuff, but the way it's presented feels pretty unique. The stuff that's really, really fun, though, is during certain sections of the game, it'll like it kind of follows a formula, so it's a bit like, okay, I know where this is at. By the time I got to the blue house, I knew what I was getting into. But it was fun. It was a cool formula. So like in the yellow house is the first one you go to. You have to open up, gain access to the royal steeds so you can travel the Great Desert Simulation. And there's like all sorts of like program words and stuff like that, but it never feels like I understood what they were talking about in context. So it never feels like I'm lost. Like, okay, you're talking about a desert, you're talking about this. I never feel lost. So like they managed to weave in like computer dialogue and stuff like that, but with like easy to stuff to know and understand, and given the context of it all. But like you get a horse and you're on like this cool robotic horse program, as it's called, and you ride through this desert all cool. There's another one, and when you get to the blue moon, when you get to the blue area, it's all water. And one of the cool things is not cool things, but rather one of the things is you can't go in water. Water unfortunately damages you permanently. And you meet this NPC and he's like, hey man, and only people attuned to the blue code, programs attuned to the blue code can touch water. Even this puddle, this like 4-inch deep puddle, that's gonna hurt you. It's gonna kill you. I'm like, all right, let me try. And sure enough, the puddle kills you. You can't even step in the puddle. But so that's it's a minor thing. But as I played along, eventually as I unlocked more things in that level, I got a surfboard that wasn't a floppy disk, and it's super cool. Like it's just like it's awesome. And eventually, you even get a giant robot that you get to pilot towards the end of the game and just punch the shit out of these enlarged enemies that you get. I will say the enemy variety in this game is at a certain point. It's not a long game, maybe about 10, 12 hours. It's not a super long game. But the enemy variety is very unique, very like hellish inspired, very creepy. There's even one enemy that's like a summoner class that like is on a crucifix. It's very unsettling. It's meant to be creepy. But honestly, what kind of pushed me forward, and as much as cool as the imagery is and all that stuff, what really pushed me forward was the creator's memories you're trying to unlock. And you basically see, I'm going to spoil it here, but because you can kind of see it coming. But you kind of see him start up as a boy, his earliest memories of his dad. You see, kitties on the stream.
Cat.
And she wants to get away. Yeah, she wants to get away. Nope, not she wanted there, not there.
Yeah.
So like you see his earliest memories of his mom. He is half American, half Japanese. Unfortunately, at some point, his mom just passes out in the kitchen. Like you see her just like just in the sprite form, just like dazed out. He doesn't know what's going on. Eventually, she passes away. So him and his father move into like apartment in Japan until eventually his father just says, "All right, I'm gonna leave you. I can't look at you anymore. You remind me too much of my wife, your mother." And he leaves, and he has to stay with his grandparents. His grandparents are with him the entire time. And sort of you see him grow from this little boy, and he starts to like formulate in his head, because how do kids deal with trauma? They go to stories. So he starts formulating in his head the digital kingdom, the trachoma, the red, blue, and yellow clans, and what does it all mean? And eventually you see him get as an adult, and he leaves his home, and you see him become like, he actually becomes a cult leader at one point because he's been seduced by him. Like him has somehow like infiltrated his mind in the real world. It's really weird on how it stands, but he basically ruins his life. He gets remarried, but because he's become a cult leader, his wife leaves and takes his kid. He goes to jail. Like you see his life go all the way around. But the ending of it and like how he kind of gets his redemption is what really sold it for me. But it's honestly a cool game, and I was worried initially that I was gonna get lost because it kind of has like everything kind of looks similar to where the point, like if you don't play it enough, you might get lost. But I found that number one, the areas aren't long, and they're not big enough to know like, oh, okay, it's not a Metroidvania, so you don't have to worry about getting lost. But the areas are not that big to the point where you can you're gonna, okay, I went here, this didn't work, let me go here now. It pretty much worked like that, and you're gonna know what to do. I think the game does a pretty good job of basically pushing you to a focal point. Like for instance, the blue area, I didn't even know where to go. It doesn't tell you where to go, so I just went here to the, like, you can either go left or right, and I went right, and that was the right direction. If I went left, it would just take me to the end screen, like this is where you're supposed to go. So so I was right to go the other way. I honestly recommend anybody check it out. Unfortunately, I will say without spoiling it too much, it does end on a cliffhanger, and unfortunately, this game is not. I guess not enough people have played it to the point. I don't know if that means I didn't get everything, but it doesn't seem, outside of the creator's memories, there are a lot of collectibles. So I don't know if that means like, wait, did I miss a true ending, or do they have a sequel in mind? But it ends on a to be continued screen. So it's like, but it was so cool. Like I fought a boss. Like the bosses are really fun. They're kind of hard, but like they're very pattern recognition. So like once I got that pattern locked down for the bosses, it was pretty much, all right, let's fucking go. I got you now. Even the final boss is a little hard, and I still got it. But there's some cool moves. They do some really cool, unique things with it. It's a very unique game, but I recommend everybody try it. Again, it's free on Game Pass. Probably, I think both PC and console. And again, if you want to buy it on Switch, which I'll probably buy it on Switch at some point when it's cheap enough, just to have it, because it's just one of those. It's like, to me, it's another indie gem to add to my collection. I feel like it's not getting talked about enough when it really should, in terms of what visually it's presenting and its uniqueness. with because you don't really get a lot of games that are like in like a digital world and surrounding this creator stuff. It's really interesting. The only other game I played this week was Bravely Default 2. I took this opportunity with the long weekend that I had to like, all right, I need to make a push into this game because I came to the kind of recollection that this game, I don't think it's a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game at all. I think it's a perfectly fine game, even with the slight mechanic changes. I do think like there's some visual stuff and technical stuff they definitely could have ironed out, maybe with another delay. But you know, we're past that point now, obviously. Or maybe they couldn't. They just said, "All right, fuck it, just ship it." Because I swear to God, I think this game's gonna crash every single fucking time when it freezes. Yeah, pretty much. I swear to God, I feel like certain points when it freezes, there are points where this game will freeze, and I swear to God, it's gonna crash. It never crashes. It never crashed on me. But I did push a good decent amount of the game. I beat the second chapter, which got me the new painter class or Pictomancer in the game, and it was all right. Like it's pretty much another buff class. More so for the enemy than yourself. I guess it's a debuff, more a debuff class, not necessarily a buff class. But it's cool. The costume's kind of disappointing. It's just you're in overalls with like a fancy hat. The girls have the better costumes, but once I got it to like level 10, level 9, level 10, then I unlocked the ability to use a dark piece of magic and a light piece of magic. So that immediately became way more useful. But at this point, I'm in the frozen area, so I'm in the cold setting. That's usually my favorite set of the game. And this is where I'm starting to like, okay, I'm feeling that Bravely Default magic a bit. I'm feeling it. And it gets really fucked up. You go into this town, and it's the biggest town you're in so far. And all of a sudden, you're at a fucking witch trial where this woman is being charged for being a fairy. And the second I fucking heard fairy in Bravely Default, I'm like, oh, hell no. Hell fucking no. I did this last time. I'm not going through it again. I can't report on the fairy thing yet. But basically, these people, this church that they pray to this dragon, they are basically saying that people are fairies and fairies are the enemies of the dragon. So they are basically throwing them over this cliff into this river as judgment. And if you are not a fairy, the god of dragons will save you and you will be redeemed. If you don't come out, then if you just perish down there because you can't reveal yourself to be a fairy, you are a fairy or you were not worthy of of saving. So it's like really fucked up. It's getting closer to what the first game was, where sort of it tackles like really fucked up shit. Versus the first two are kind of like not as much, you know, like, oh, okay, there's a flooded city and it's not that necessarily that great. You killed your brother or whatever, or you know, like but this is the most fucked up so far. I just before the stream started, actually, I just unlocked the Dragoon class, so that was missing in Bravely Second. So I'm glad it's back here and it's just as good as it was. I thought I unlocked the Chemist class before after that, because I did another side quest where you literally go in this dude's dream to basically wake him up and you get a boss fight in there. And I thought it was the Chemist class because he was using like salves, or he was called the Salve Maker. And it's not the same one. If it's the same name, they fucking nerfed it to hell. Because for those of you who don't remember or didn't play Bravely Default, the first one, the Salve Maker class, Chemist class, whatever you want to call it, was fucking broken in the first game. Like you could make enemies like 4 times weak to something. You could add weaknesses to them. It was busted. Best class in the fucking game. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't like to optimize shit. But so I got excited and I saw the abilities. I'm like, oh, you're nothing like the first one. God damn it. Maybe there is another Chemist class. Maybe it's a different class. I don't know. But because I thought I saw another evil character, like, oh, okay, he's clearly the Chemist class. But then I got this. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So far,
or maybe it was too broken, so they made something else.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's just say I was looking forward to, because the Chemist class was not in Bravely Second. So I was kind of hoping for it to return, but I don't know. It's fine. I will say, having played almost 50 hours into it now, I'm really glad they seemingly have made it easier to master jobs, because I never, with the exception of like 1 or 2, I never mastered jobs in the first 2 games. I got my skills up to like maybe like third, like 3 levels before you master it, because at that point it just becomes too grindy. But like already into the 3rd chapter of the game, I have mastered for certain characters like at least 4 or 5 classes, which is nice. And so like pretty much sometimes it's like deciding, okay, what works for this, works for this. I will say the Dragoon has a really good ability, and it's at level 6. So like if you get enough like large JP orbs from doing the sailing stuff, it gives you an ability that if you get afflicted with a status ailment, after 2 turns, you'll heal yourself fully and cure yourself of the status element. And that's a skill anybody can use if you level them up for it. Wow. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. Yeah, it's really great. So yeah, right now I have the Pictomancer, a Red Mage, because I'm just trying to level it up, master it. Because Red Mage is really not a good main class. I don't think it's ever supposed to be a good main class. It's just always been a support. So the Dragoon, I have that mixed with the Black Mage, which is kind of unique, but I thought, hey, why not give a Dragoon who can use Black Magic? Why the fuck not, right? And then the other one, I'm working on the Ranger. The Ranger class, I'm really happy that it's much better than it was in the first game, because after a while, the Ranger class in the first one was initially good to start with, but after a while, it kind of just lost its power, its bite. It just wasn't hitting anymore, and that might still happen later on, but I think I'm using the Ranger class more here than I did in the first game. So especially since they gave it some, like, they took away some stupid like type element, like types that you could fight against. So I'm almost mastering that. I'm like 1 level away from mastering that too. So like I'm still waiting for what's the fucking twist. That's what I'm waiting for at this point. Like there's been 2, like there has to be a tradition in this game at this point now that you've done it in 2 other games. So that's what I'm waiting for, and I hope it blows my socks off.
The twist is there is no twist.
It's an really Shyamalan twist.
I really hope that's not the case, because like as I said, even though I'm enjoying my time with it, this game just doesn't have the magic that the first one had. I don't know if it's the characters, the classes, the story, like it just isn't hitting the same way.
You know?
I mean,
like
maybe, but like
place.
it could be, but like it's not like I said, I don't think the game's bad. I'm still enjoying with it. I wouldn't be playing it as much as I am if I didn't like it. But like, I don't know. Like again, I don't hate the game, but so far, like within the first, I want to say 10 hours, like okay, that's it. I know what I'm doing. These are the villains. These are my heroes. I don't know. Maybe the cast kind of is doing it for me individually, but as a unit, they're not doing it for me. Versus like in the first game, like okay, as a unit, this is our team. Let's go. I like them individually. I don't necessarily like them as a team. The princess character is kind of just like too stoic. The main character might as well be a mute because he just kind of just contributes the obvious. Elvis is the best character in the game just because he's like, oh, laddie, let's go. Stuff cool like that. And yeah, he's the best character. And the most unique. And then his partner, Adele, like she's also pretty fun. But so yeah, I'm still going through the motions at this point. I want to feel the magic that I felt with the first game, in all honesty. And I kept thinking about it, like, man, I wonder if this is what Final Fantasy fans felt like when like they played that first one of theirs, and then they played the sequel, and it just wasn't hitting right. I wonder if that's what I'm going through right now, which is possible.
No, Final Fantasy just isn't as good anymore.
Well, I'm talking about like back in the day, you play Final Fantasy 2 for us, and then but then you play 3, and like, oh, this is not the same game I fell in love with, I
mean, it's better. So
yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, for
it's a bad example.
For some people, like
how about 7 to 8?
Well, I mean, for some people, I know
maybe
they
like 10 to
10
too.
Oof.
For some people, that was their first. You always love your first. So when you play something different, it's has a little bit different systems, maybe different characters you don't mesh with as well. That's probably what some people felt from going from 2 to 3. They're just like, I'm going for this one. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the quality of the games. I'm just talking about the quality of how people may have felt at the time. I could be wrong, but that's just me putting like just using the example as I can get. So yeah, I'm still gonna play through it. I'll probably report back. I'm gonna try to push through more. I'm still taking my time with it. Like I'm being like kind of grinding through areas, but I'm just pretty much fighting everything I can. Stuff like that. Again, still love the Beastmaster class. That class is still super dope. I just wish you could see somewhere on the menu what you captured. versus like having to do it in battle. Like that's the only complaint that I have about the Beastmaster class. But other than that, that's all I've played. So yeah, no bitching about Brave Default 2, but if the twist happens and I'm not happy with it, you'll hear about it for sure. All right, guys, we're gonna go take a commercial break for just a moment, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about some news and then our original character fatalities. Stay tuned.
Bye.
All right, we should be on an ad break unless my stream deck sucks.
Okay. So
I don't have a
countdown run by
though. I don't think. That's still a problem.
Okay, then I'm gonna run something by you real quick. So since I know we probably have time. So this is how I think we should do the intros. So and now it's time to introduce our OC fatalities. You hit the gong sound effect. So gong. And then as we're presenting them, so I'll go, and Tyler, what is your OC fatality? And then you'll play the finish him thing. Does that sound good?
It's fatality, not finish him.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Would that be for each person?
Yeah, so I'll go, Justin, what is your, and then you can hit the button.
Gong.
Fatality.
It just turns into the Gong Show.
No, you'll hit the fatality sound.
Sorry. So the gong starts the whole section, and then the fatality is for each person.
Correct. So okay. I'll go, Tyler, what is your, and then I'll point, I'll do this. And then
for me, it should be Shao Kahn saying, you suck.
I don't have that.
No.
You can't throw these last minute changes on me.
I'll get it.
I can't work in this environment. We're probably back. I'm guessing it's been a minute. Like I said, I don't have a timer on here. I thought when I hit the add button, it would count down, but no, it just gave me a check mark, and then that was it. I'm still learning this thing.
Damn it. Don't check Twitter when you're... Okay, all right. I'm going to count this in, Tyler. So, 3, 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Charizard Gamecast. It is now time for the news segment.
News time.
News time.
All right. So we're going to kick it off this time. We're going to head to the house of Persona 5 as it seems like we're getting a Persona 5 game on mobile. Justin, since you are the Persona 5 master here on this podcast, you want to go into this a little bit?
I guess Tyler's just chopped liver, but sure.
Well, he's better at explaining stuff than I am, so...
Well, I don't totally know what this is, I'll admit. The trailer for it is basically nothing. For one, it's in this really weird, widescreen aspect, really ultra widescreen aspect ratio, so I couldn't really see it very well. And it was all in Japanese. So I'm kind of just going off of the descriptions in this article as far as what it is. So hopefully it's right. But it is a game called Codename X. And at first it just kind of looked like the art style of Persona 5, but I mean that's multiple games use that same kind of stylized anime art style. But there's code hidden in the trailer and stuff that translates to Persona 5X. And then the developers, Perfect World Games, also confirmed that the game is based on the Persona series. So it looks like it has original characters, but it's using kind of that world. The trailer shows Shibuya 505 or whatever, the town square from Persona 5. So Codename X follows the tone of the original game and uses next generation technology to enhance the original renders and create a realistic Japanese metropolis. Everything's in Chinese, but I think I said Japanese, but I meant Chinese.
It's
Shibuya is in Japan, but Perfect World is a Chinese company. It's weird. But yeah, there's not a lot of information. I'm showing off a little bit of the weird ultra widescreen trailer. I don't know why they did it like this, but yeah, there's really no information, but it's basically a Persona mobile game. Like, it sounds like it's going to be like a full RPG on mobile, which seems really cool. There's definitely a focus on hacking and like the kind of the living inside the computer type stuff. So I'm guessing like Persona 5 had the jails, or sorry, the
the palaces.
Palaces, thank you. That were like inside a mobile app. And then Persona 5 Strikers had jails, which were like there were entire cities, and they were still in a mobile app, but they were a different mobile app. More of like an artificial AI type thing. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this is more of that, like, you know, virtual world type stuff, like infiltrating people's phones for, I don't know.
Just go into people's brains using the power of the internet.
Basically. Like, I bet hacking will probably be the way you get in, and then it's like, I don't know, cleaning out their naughty search history.
Just fight all of the devious porn searches.
Exactly. Just Maras everywhere.
Oh god, there's so many Maras.
For those that don't know Persona 5, or Persona, I guess in general, I think it's older than that. Mara is the giant penis chariot monster that you've probably seen pictures of.
Oh god.
Yeah, we don't know much, but I'm definitely curious to know more. I don't really know what Perfect World Games has worked on either. I hope they're not one of those like trash companies that just churns out the same game with a different license on it.
It most likely might be the case.
I mean, they're Chinese, so I'd guess it's a lot of MMOs. Like anime MMOs.
Yeah, like all those ads that you see on like YouTube ads or something.
Yeah. Because China loves their anime MMOs. I don't know why, but yeah, that's all. I'm gonna look
all
up
right.
World.
Okay, anything else to say on this, Tyler? You excited for this? Whatever it is.
I think I might give it a shot. I like Persona 5 enough. That said, I haven't really been playing Strikers a lot. I played a bit of it, but I completely forgot about it up until now.
Same, actually.
But, yeah, if it's a mobile game that has the actual Persona 5 thing, then, yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot. I doubt it'll be as good as, like, the main game. I mean, that's a given for mobile games, but, yeah, I'll give it a fair shot.
All right. So, yeah, they are basically known for MMORPGs over the last 15 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, speaking of MMOs, the Pokemon-esque MMO Temtem is getting a brand new area to explore. This is courtesy of IGN. As revealed in the place... Egan? Yes. Dr. Egan. As revealed in the... Dr. Egan talks like this, and he's very astounded because he went to Oxford Yard.
Egan Tokan.
And he may or may... Yeah, anyways... That's a new character I'm working on. As revealed in the PlayStation blog post, Sipanku, okay, Island is the next major location in the Temtem. It's home to new electric and digital Temtems. Huh?
Yeah, it's a new type.
Digital
Tems are a rare human-made variant of cutesy collectible critters that are strong against mental, melee, and other... Oh, these types are fucking me up. And other digital types, but weak to water, electric, and digital. They also offer resistance when facing against toxic Tems. Temtem developer Crema Games recommended having a team level up to at least level 50 before you tackle Sipanku Island. The Sipanku Island update will also introduce the game's first mythical Temtem and means to catch them. Groups of 3 to 5 players will be able to take part in layers, replayable, random generated dungeons with shared resources with others. Wow, it's a fucking raid. Where players must build their Temtem teams and manage their kit as they progress. Successful players will be in a chance to... Successful players will be with the chance of capturing the mythical Tem. No name is given. Today, the update will also implement activity cards for all in-game quests, as well as fast travel. Wow, I didn't have fast travel beforehand, really. A much requested feature that will allow players to hop between different hotspots in the airborne archipelago. for an in-game fee. Really? Come on, guys. Tim launches in early access on PC back in January 2020 and made its console debut on PS5 in December 2020. All right, Justin, I know you and our good friend Lo were into this game, but I haven't heard you talk about it, but what do you think about this update?
The main thing, like, I honestly, I tried to go back to it after the last big update, and I'm stuck on a gym leader right now, and it's super hard, and, like, there hasn't really been any, like, other content that allows me to grind, so I'm just, like, going against random wild Tim, like, slowly, raising my team up. Like, I want more of this kind of, I mean, obviously I'm not level 50, but I want more of this kind of content where it's, like, randomly generated and replayable, so I can just grind that stuff out to raise my party's level. But right now, like, there's nothing really I can do to, like, get strong enough to take on this gym leader. So I kind of gave up for a while. But, like, the thing I'm most excited about here is the basically the raids, the layers. Because that's really cool. Like, it's the first real MMO thing that they're adding. Because, I mean, like, when you play the game, other people are running around, but it's very passive. Like, you can't really party up and battle or anything like that. I don't think they even have PvP implemented yet. So this is a really cool, like, party system thing that I definitely want to check out, but apparently I need to get to level 50 first. So I was kind of hoping they would introduce some new stuff, like, in the areas they've already released. But it seems like those areas are content complete, and they're just, adding new stuff into the new areas, which is kind of a bummer. But digital Tim are Tims, I guess. I thought they were called Tims, but whatever. Digital Tims are interesting. They kind of reminded me of, like, dragons, because they're weak against themselves and also strong against themselves. But the designs they've shown so far for them haven't been that interesting. And we've only seen, like, 3. And one, I think, is an evolution of one of them. So there's, like, basically 2, like, different species of digital Tims. I'm hoping they have more. I haven't actually looked to see, like, what the new mythical one is or anything like that. So maybe they've announced more digitals. I don't know. But yeah, so far the main thing I've struggled with in the game is the variety of available Tims in the game. Because, like I said, my team's kind of stuck where, like, I can't get them stronger, and the team I have, like, is pretty weak against the gym I'm on, or I think they're called dojos, but whatever.
Same idea.
So, like, because I can't leave the island I'm on until I complete the dojo, I'm just kind of stuck. So I want to see a lot of the new stuff. I need to get past that. But yeah, it's great that they're sticking with the at least the updated roadmap for the game, because they struggled a little bit at the beginning of the year and stuff. But they said they would catch up, and they weren't going to promise content on any schedule anymore, but they'd be trickling it out. And this is the big update that everyone was waiting for back, like, I think October, November last year, and it's finally coming out, so it's a pretty big deal.
All right. I don't play this game, but I hope you enjoy the content. Tyler, do you have any interest in picking up Tim?
I might give it a shot, but every time I hear the word Temtem, I just think of the Temmie monster from Undertale.
Nice. I have no idea what you're talking about because I never made it that far. Okay, so speaking of...
You'd enjoy it.
All right, so let's move on into a crossover that either you saw coming or you didn't see coming. Street Fighter... I did. Because they've been hinting, the social media has been hinting at it strongly. Anyways, coming this May, Street Fighter will cross over with Power Rangers Battle for the Grid as Ryu and Chun-Li become Rangers in the upcoming DLC, with Ryu being transformed into the Crimson Hawk Ranger and Chun-Li will be the Blue Phoenix Ranger, respectively. Now, I say this has been coming, respectively, because number one, there's a mobile game called Power Rangers Legacy Wars, where that's where these costumes first debuted. And sort of once that happened, and this was way before Battle of the Grid. I think it uses the same engine. I don't know if it's the same team, but I know it uses the same assets at least. Back in December or November, December of last year, they were kind of hinting about Scorpina is out. It must have been December because Scorpina didn't come out till December. What should we do next? And sort of kind of filtering out would you guys like to see a crossover? With it, and of course, everybody pointed to Ryu and Chun-Li. They're going to be coming out for everything because this game is available everywhere on May 25th with a price of $12.50. Right now, the trailer. I don't know if you're going to play the trailer or not, Justin, but
I am.
Okay, cool. So the trailer right now is only for Ryu. There is no Chun-Li trailer yet. There's a tease for her at the end. Man, Battle of the Grid. I haven't played this game in a while, but when I did, Battle of the Grid is one of the most fun fighting games I've ever played, possibly. And number one, I love Ryu's design. He looks so much fun to play. There's a point where you can see him do his shoulder breaker, and it fucking combos off and off the ground, or an OTG. His fireball actually is a hawk, which is a nice little touch. My personal favorite is when the Muay Thai Ranger, he does his assist call, and Ryu fucking tatsus over it, and then hits him with the tatsu. That was super cool. But Ryu just looks fun. It's Ryu obviously is a lot better in Street Fighter V now, and to see him just be absolutely busted in this, it's seemingly he's wave dashing in this, which is it's super nuts. I'm gonna go ham with this character when he comes out. Same thing with Chun-Li. And again, this for those who don't know, because I know I've talked about it before, but just to kind of bring it up in case we get anybody new, this is a lot of the development team had. Who are not all of it, but some people in development were old school Marvel 2, Marvel 3 players, so they know how this craziness works. So you can tell. So yeah, I never thought I would see it, but both Ryu and Chun-Li are going to be in a Power Rangers 3v3 tag game. Again, there is a teaser for Chun-Li doing the spinning bird kick. And Chun-Li has always been historically crazier than Ryu in these games. So if Ryu was this crazy, I can't wait to see what Chun is going to be like, especially since she's my girl. Tyler, you're our other fighting game player. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is a really sick crossover. I mean, Ryu and Chun-Li are pretty much the king and queen of crossover games at this point. They've been in every single Marvel versus crossover game that's come out at this point. So seeing them in Power Rangers garb, just beating the shit out of other Power Rangers, is pretty awesome. And just like you, I can't wait to try these characters out. They're going to be really sick based on what we've seen from the Ryu trailer.
Justin, is this going to make you pick up the game again?
I mean, it's still on Game Pass, so maybe. Although I'd have to probably buy the characters.
Yeah.
I'm less likely to do that. But I'd play with you with the base characters so you can be them. Probably a dumb question. Are these original characters, or are they putting Ryu and Chun-Li into the place of these existing Power Ranger characters?
I think these designs are complete. My knowledge of Power Rangers stopped after 2000. But I want to say the Crimson Hawk and Blue Phoenix Ranger, those are 100% original for Chun-Li and Ryu.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assumed as much, but you never know.
It even has Ryu's his headband is on the outside of his helmet. Mm-hmm. Chun-Li obviously has her buns and the blue, everything of they incorporated their core design aspects into their Ranger costumes.
Yeah, they're really cool designs.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I love the fact that his fireball is literally a hawk. Since he's the Crimson Hawk Ranger, that's a nice touch.
I find it hilarious that Chun-Li and Ryu are not just Power Rangers, but they're also X-Men. They're pretty much everything now.
Yeah, pretty much. They fought. They've literally at this point they fought everything. This is why Chun-Li belongs in Smash. Anyways,
one thing that bothers me is there's not a third. Yes. Because it's a 3v3 fighting game. So you'd think they'd bring in 3 Street Fighters characters so you can have Street Fighter versus Power Rangers.
I don't think there are any other Street Fighter characters in the thing though, so they would have. I mean, because I imagine that this is only happening because they have the assets access to it already, so they just got to program the moves and the balance.
Yeah.
Versus like if they would like, I don't know who it would be. Would it be Guile? Would it be Ken? Ken would be Ken's going to be too similar to Ryu, obviously, but like I agree with you. But I think if you're gonna pick two, I mean, like it's gonna be these two.
Oh, yeah,
I think it'll
sure.
be fine.
But it's just like, you have to throw a random Power Ranger in with them. Like, that sucks.
Maybe, yeah, they could have done that. They could have, maybe they will. I mean, it doesn't come out for another month, so maybe it's a surprise it's going to happen. Like, and here's a third character, and it's, I don't know, another Power Ranger. Maybe it's the long-awaited Silver Ranger that I've wanted for so long, even though I don't know how he would play.
Like the Titanium Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue?
No, the Silver Ranger from In Space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that guy.
There was no Power Rangers in Lost in Space.
No, that's Lost Galaxy. Yeah. All right, so let's move on from Street Fighter to Mortal. This is just the tip of the iceberg for Mortal Kombat for us. Apparently, Mortal Kombat is getting some new gaming chairs from Secret Lab. There's only one thing that gamers love more than sitting comfortably. That's shouting Mortal Kombat at the top of the lungs. Mortal Kombat! See what I'm saying? It's so much fun. Thankfully, so now you can do so with extreme ease, as Secret Lab has revealed their brand new set of Mortal Kombat gaming chairs. This just in time for the new Mortal Kombat film, which is actually launching this weekend at the time of this recording. The new design is available at the Omega and Titan Screen Lab chairs, and then so there's just should be showing a screenshot of that right now on there, and you can click the link in the podcast description to see them yourselves. Immortalized in the epic decades-long Mortal Kombat saga, these new chairs will look perfect center stage in any gaming setup. Available now, these exclusive Secret Lab collector's items will be very limited upon release, and perfect coincides with the brand new film launching on HBO Max. The chair features stylized embroidery techniques on its side panels alongside skulls stitched on the side wings and repeating motifs against famous voice lines. Upholstered in Secret Lab's signature Prime 2.0 PU leather, the iconic Mortal Kombat logo is also embroidered prominently on the rear in an instantly recognizable symbol. See more than the new chairs below. And I'm sort of looking at it like I'm not the biggest fan of gaming chairs because I think an office chair is a much better option to go with. But if I was to buy a gaming chair, this is pretty fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure Kenny, a.k.a. Unruly, has already ordered this.
Of course. They're probably going to send him one.
I mean, I love like how hard they went on the promotional images for these. Like, the text and the, like, the borders for everything, like, look like the Mortal Kombat game. And they've got, like, the floaties in the background. Like, these look ripped straight out of Mortal Kombat. Not just the chairs, but also the art they're showing off.
Yes.
It would probably be more fitting if they somehow put spikes on the chair or something.
Have like massagers in it, and there's like a fatality mode. Just
Relaxality.
Honestly, they could probably make another version that comes with speakers, and it'll just play like the classic sound effects, like "you suck" or the like fatality or
toasty.
Exactly, toasty, or like whoop, yeah, exactly. If you play classic MK, you will those are forever etched in your mind. Raiden's sort of fucking Superman tackle.
Also, these chairs are basically $400, so.
Yeah, they're expensive, so you're gonna drop a pretty penny. You gotta be a Mortal Kombat fan if you want one. Just look, I'm not gonna tell you not to buy them. I'm just gonna tell you spend your money on an office chair. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Although I will
nice.
say real quick, it's vaguely related to this topic. I did not put it in before. They dropped the new theme song for the new Mortal Kombat movie, and it's basically like a modernized remix of the classic 90s Mortal Kombat theme. And it's perfect. I love
good.
Every second.
I haven't listened to it. I'm gonna wait till the movie comes out, but that's good.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with the classic.
Yeah. Because I thought they weren't gonna do it at all, and now it's like they basically just took that and made it better.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a trailer, but that's no guarantee that they would use it in the movie. So.
Well, it's on the soundtrack, but it's called Mortal Kombat theme, so I assume it's in the movie.
So I guess we'll have to see. A movie comes out this Friday on HBO Max. Not sponsored, but hey, HBO, come on, we're waiting right here, buddy.
Yeah.
We fit your demographic, I think. Speaking of the graphic, let's talk about Legos, and let's talk about the creepiness of how Lego. So last year, was it last year? I think Nintendo and Lego collaborated on these new Lego Super Mario sets. Which there's the Bowser Castle is like $100, and there's a couple of small ones too. But the big catcher was that Mario would be like Bluetooth enabled. He would make noises, like Charles Martinet voices and stuff like that. So now, apparently, in an update, Lego Super Mario has started crying out for Luigi. Lego Electronic Super Mario toy started calling out for his brother, as an owner noticed, following a former update. Which, by the way, that's so weird to me that the Lego has a firmware update. That's so fucking weird. Lego Super Mario now cries out for Luigi, and then there's footage of it as well. Replying to a Facebook post highlighting this week's Super Mario Toy update, relying on someone asking about Luigi debut. Lego's official account was filing. Now, that's a very creative way to get the missing brother. We did notice that the Lego Mario has started calling for him. We're looking into it and hope to have clarity on why this is so soon. So pretty much, they're not saying yet, but yeah, it looks like you're going to get a Luigi set. Luigi turning up in Lego form is no surprise. The Lego Super Mario range has been one of the company's biggest launches in years, both in terms of sales and the number of sets to offer. Is at least 500. At least this it's converted to pounds. 500 pounds worth of Super Mario Lego was available within range when it was launched last summer, with 16 further sets added back in January. All right, so number one, I didn't own the Lego Mario sets.
The last time I got Lego stuff was for Avengers Endgame, but that's about it.
Yeah, I would love to get some of the licensed Legos, but I probably wouldn't get these because they're such specific sets. Like, you really can't do anything with them other than what they're set up to do because of the way Mario interacts with it. And, like, it's amazing technology for kids. Like, I wish I had this when I was little because I loved Legos back then. But now it would mostly just be a collectible. So, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Also, I will say that since this creepy article, the Luigi Lego set has been confirmed.
Okay, cool.
We've seen Lego Luigi and everything, but
yeah,
it's still really funny.
It took them. Yeah,
Is it Luigi's Mansion? Because that's the only way I can see this making sense.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Luigi's Mansion?
I didn't actually look.
Or did it not show the set? Or did it just show the figure? Because I hope Luigi gets his own sets. Like, that would be cool. Like with Ghost Boos and everything, that would be neat.
Yay.
I will find it.
All right, so like I can only imagine, like you're like a dad, you bought your kid this toy for Christmas. All of a sudden, like maybe you're gonna get a drink. It's like midnight. All of a sudden, you hear, "Oh, I need you. Where are you? I need you," or what? I don't know what the fuck he says. But like just like at like 1 a.m, what the fuck was that? And you just see its eye. By the way, Mario's eyes glow, so you're gonna see that shit. That's the start of a horror movie. Did we not learn anything from Chucky? Have we not learned anything to not give any kind of sentience to a fucking toy? All right.
That theoretical reminds me of a story of when I was a kid, back in '98, I think, or '99, when Bug's Life was in theaters. I had this toy of the main character Flick, and it was like one of those reactor toys. Like if you set it up in the dark, right, and it pretty much says a thing when light shines on it. And I recall my parents opening up the door when I was asleep at night, and this thing just goes, "Intruder alert! Intruder alert!" And it's like, what's that?
Oh, wow. All right. Did you find the Luigi?
Yeah. So it's not like a special Luigi set or anything. It's basically it's a Luigi starter set that includes, obviously him, and then a few new figures, like just Mario figures. Like there's a pink Yoshi, Bone Goomba, which I don't think has ever been a thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
And
I'm
Boss
pretty sure
Boom
there's
Boom.
only one bone in their brains.
And then of course, like, some new pieces and stuff, but it's not specific to Luigi stuff.
No booze?
I mean, this is just the starter set.
Well, it's for kids. Of course it can't have booze.
That's great.
Well done. It's
Okay.
also like they're introducing just a standalone speaker that plays music and sound effects from the Mario games, like while you're setting it up, which is pretty cool.
That's neat.
So yeah, it's an expansion of the existing Mario stuff, but I'm sure they could add, in the future, they could add some Luigi specific things too.
Yeah, I really wished, like, this is all cool, but I really wish they would release a set that's just like a Lego set, like little mini Mario figure that you could build, like Peach's Castle or Luigi's Mansion, or like that's what I wanted, but like not like this whole like Bowser super huge or that's fine if I was like 6, but or like maybe 10, but like now it's like I'm fucking just gonna sit there.
I mean, I've said it before. If they put out a Zelda set that like was a kind of a build your own dungeon thing, I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I would buy a Metroid set where you get to build Samus's gunship. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be
cool
sick.
Yeah,
and that would go like hotcakes, like just because of how crazy Metroid fans are.
It is funny that this is coming out now though, because Mario's dead, so they have to switch over to Luigi.
Why do you think he was calling out for him? He's calling out from the afterlife.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of being almost dead, we have an update regarding the closure of the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita stores. This is coming from the PlayStation blog itself, and coming from old game hater himself, Jim Ryan. Yeah, I said it. So apparently, the PlayStation Store on PS3 and PS Vita will continue operations. I'll just go into justice right now. The PSP Store will still close on July 2nd, but that makes more sense considering that's been out since 2007, and most people probably don't own a PSP anymore. And chances are, if you have a PSP, you kind of have what you have at this point. I would, at least, for the most part.
Or you've hacked it.
Maybe. Exactly. So this is from there. Recently, we've received notice that PlayStation Store for both for PS3 and PS Vita devices are planning to end this summer. Upon further reflection, however, it is clear that we made the wrong decision here. So today I'm happy to say that we are keeping the PlayStation Store operational for PS3 and PS Vita devices. PSP commercially functioning will retire on July 2nd, 2021 as planned. When we initially came to the decision to end purchasing support for PS3 and PS Vita, it was born out of a number of factors, including commerce, support challenges for old devices, and the ability to focus more on resources on newer devices where a majority of our gamers are playing on. We see now that many of you are incredibly passionate about being able to continue purchasing classic games on PS3 and PS Vita for the foreseeable future, so I'm glad that we were able to find a solution to continue operations. I'm glad that we can keep this piece of our history alive for our gamers to enjoy while we continue our creative cutting edge new games for PS4, PS5, and next gen VR. Thank you for sharing feedback. Yada yada yada. Y'all got called out for a shitty thing. Y'all got dragged on Twitter. And y'all are fucking not closing the store, and y'all shouldn't have closed the store to fucking begin with. Or if you were going to close it, it should have been a year, not fucking 5 months.
But for once, they listened. They usually don't listen, so that's still something.
No. Yeah, I did not expect to read this today, so like that's why this news for us was actually added in late, because I fully did not see it coming. So.
Well, really, what happened is they listened to the show from last week, and they're like, you know what? Those guys are right.
Yeah.
That's the kind of
really
impact
handsome
we have
podcasters really had a point there.
Yeah. We make change. We make real change for you.
Yes. All right. So now hopefully you don't have to rush. I would still maybe, go ahead and get those PS3 games you've been wanting or PS1 games you've been wanting. Just in case. I might still do it now because I initially wasn't going to do it. I never going to play those games. My PS3 is not hooked up, but maybe I'll do something about it now.
Remember my whole story about downloading the Ratchet and Clank? Was that a cracking time? It finally finished downloading today.
What? That long?
Well,
God.
For one, I guess like it goes into pending whenever you're playing the game. But still, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it depends on what game you're playing for background downloads to go on in there.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, they do need to still worry about the CMOS because eventually those systems will go offline, and that's still going to be an issue, like we talked about last week.
Yep. Yeah. It's a battle won, but the war is far from over. And again, Jim Ryan, fuck you for make the comment of who wants to play those old games anyways. Like, go fuck yourself, dude. Clearly, people want to play those games since you don't want to put them on the new store. I guarantee you, people would have less of a problem with this if you could access these games on the PS4 versus PS5.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like, I don't see why these games aren't on there. Other than like effort.
If you don't have backwards compatibility, you have to have legacy support. Like, those are the only two options.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, Nintendo, that the WiiWare shop was on, at least like you could only put money on there for like a year, and then like a few months after that, it was gone completely. So they gave you time. At that point. So and you can still play those games on your Wii U if you have them downloaded. So as long as you have a Wii U.
Plus, they love re-releasing their games, so we're never too worried about Nintendo.
Yeah,
that's not that big of an issue.
Some games are lost forever, but for the most part, the big games you're always going to be able to play at some point. So versus, hell, name a PlayStation 1 game you can play on the PS5. The answer is none. Hey, you can't even play PlayStation 5 games on there. Oh, okay. I just dunked PlayStation. Anyways, so going from the big bad Sony to good old indie, we have the game title name for the development team of Celeste. It is called Earthblade, and it's set to release. Cheekily, yes, it reminds me of a 90s JRPG, honestly. Mm-hmm. It's set to come in 20XX, very cute. Over 3 years ago, Extremely OK Games released Celeste. The game has become a massive success. Hell, it was one of my games of the year, I think, in 2019. Its final chapter released in 2019, or was it 2018? I don't remember. The dev team has already confirmed that there isn't a sequel planned for now, so it's no surprise Extremely OK Games has been working on a new game that has nothing to do with the world of Celeste. Earlier today, Extremely OK Games announced Earthblade. This game is a 2D explorer game in a seamless pixel art world with Lena Raine creating the game soundtrack. No platforms has been mentioned, including Switch. And the release date is only slated for 20XX. You can see their official statement, and there's a tweet linked into the article. So yeah, I think it was about time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't think Celeste needs a sequel. Considering
it kind of got one. It got that little
with the update, yeah, that little, but like an official 2 or something, like a console release. But it's cool that they're doing something fun, and obviously nothing to really show yet. But I'm looking forward to this.
I mean, they had me at 2D explorer action game in a seamless pixel art world.
You think it's going to be Metroidvania, don't you son of a bitch?
I mean, either that or it's going to be like a top-down Zelda-like. But yeah. I assume they'll use the same Celeste engine and make it a side-scroller type game.
Yeah. I'll agree with you. I like the logo a lot. It looks really cool. Yeah, very nice logo. All right. Anything else, Tyler, buddy?
Nothing for me. I did enjoy my time with Celeste, as brief as it was, so I'm kind of optimistic to see what this game's about.
All right, so we're going to end the news this time on the indie world, the surprise indie world that kind of dropped last Wednesday. So we're going to basically what we're going to do, we're going to go through them real quick. I'm going to say them real quick, and then if you guys have any thoughts on them, we'll stop. Just because otherwise we'd be here for too long to cover every single thing individually. So kicking off, we have Road 96. This is by DigiArt, the developer behind the acclaimed World War I narrative adventure 1111. Memoirs Retold is bringing up its striking procedural road trip adventure to Switch later this year. So it's pretty much a game where it's RNG generated. You meet different people on a road trip, and it's seemingly different every time. It looks like a very much find yourself kind of game.
I did not understand this trailer. I thought it was like a choose your own adventure type thing where it's the outcome is different depending on what choices you make. But then they made it sound like it's just the game is totally different every time you play it.
I think that's what it is.
I don't know.
It's just going to experience something different every time. So, all right. So, Tyler, anything?
The trailer's still loading on my end, so I got nothing to say on this.
All right. Next up is Aerial Knight's Never Yield. This is a parkour-infused style 3D runner set up in eye-catching futuristic Tokyo. Although it says Detroit. I don't know why it says I know the game said it's supposed to be future Detroit, or maybe I misread that.
It's a Tokyo-inspired Detroit. I don't. Okay. This description's bad.
Yeah, okay. Eurogamer, it's Detroit, not Tokyo. In the future, Detroit inspired Tokyo into a dope-tastic soundtrack by Detroit artist Danaimi Sama that's heading to Switch on May 19th. This is based off if you didn't see the trailer. This is like Bitch It Runner, where it's a runner game, but it looks really cool as hell, and the music they showed off was stylish as hell. So I'll definitely give this a look when it comes out. There is a demo available right now on the Nintendo eShop.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of runners, but like the style of this game is so cool, and that kind of keeps me intrigued. Also, it's cool. It's just like it's from a guy. Like he had this idea, and like people told him he couldn't do it, so he made it himself.
Yeah. You gotta show that initiative. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Arrow Knight is the person in question. That is the person who we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So the next up, this is a couple of games. This is from Annapurna Interactive. They made Edith Finch and then Florence. I believe those are two games that they're known for, or they published them. The ever reliable Annapurna Interactive has two titles coming to Switch for developer Variable States Last Stop, which features 3 intertwined supernatural cute stories in one. Comes to console in July, while Joel McDonald's Hindsight, spanning the entirety of a woman's life from birth to present day, arrives later this year. So, if you've played both Florence and What Remains of Edith Finch, you know this publisher very much it thrives on those emotional story-driven games. So these will probably be no different. They're definitely experimental, but I like that these games exist because they provide something different in the space that is largely occupied by hack and slash giants and shooters.
I don't care for their games, but I like that Annapurna's doing games because it's showing that like there's an interactive movie media kind of. Like Annapurna is a movie production company too. Like they produce a lot of indie movies. So like it's neat that they're kind of taking that mindset and putting it into like, you know, interactive experiences too. They don't really speak to me specifically.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to developer Roll7's superlative Ollie Ollie is making its long-awaited return in the form of Ollie Ollie World. It brings the series fearsomely compelling, traditionally two-dimensional skateboarding formula into the wonderfully stylized 3D world onto Switch this winter. So yeah, I had the first two Ollie Ollie games. I think they were part of a Humble Bundle deal. I didn't get into them. I don't think I was in the right mindset to play them, but this trailer looked fantastic.
Yeah.
This looks sick.
I'm definitely going to check this out when it comes out. Hopefully November, December of this year.
It's like a mix between like Trials and Jet Grind Radio. It's really cool.
A little, yeah.
I can see that.
But also, quick shout out. This is the new game that Private Division is publishing. They bought Roll7. I think last year we mentioned that they bought Roll7 and then Moon Studios, who did Ori and the Blind Forest. And so this is the first game they've announced. And that's real cool. You know, small company making big moves.
Yeah, it definitely looks like, and to be featured in a Nintendo Direct, that's pretty cool too. So next up we have Studio Suez's Fascinating Lonely Adventures, The Longing. It's out now. This one casts players as Shade and sets them loose in the caverns of a vast underground kingdom, finding ways to pass time as they wait for 400 days for their king to awaken in real time, which that seemed interesting, but the trailer didn't really do enough for me to want to play it.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. I'm curious. What did y'all have anything to say about it?
I'm amused that Thomas was really interested in this game, considering how often he plays like Picross and stuff. He clearly just has time to waste.
Yeah, this looks unbearably slow.
Yeah.
It's like he literally, I don't know. That's definitely an approach, I guess. So all right, but it's out now. So if you want to try it,
you better get a head start because it's gonna take 400 days.
God, that seems really odd. Okay, so next up is probably the heavy hitter of this direct, which is odd to feature in an indie thing, but whatever. It's a publisher's indie, so I guess that counts. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge, of course.
You skipped one.
Or did I skip one?
Yeah, there is no game.
I did.
Wrong dimension. You skipped there is no game. That's funny.
That's funny. Okay, let me go back. Sorry, because the thumbnail was like just a switch, so I thought it was an ad placement.
Oh.
So
no, I'm really excited for this one. That's why I didn't want you to skip it.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry. So this is after that. This is coming out on Switch. The title is There Is No Game by Wrong Dimension. It's off unexpected journey, the progression of perhaps faintly familiar video game universes. So I didn't see this one, but why are you excited for it, Justin?
It looks insane. Like, I think this is actually a sequel. Like, there was an original. There is no game. Like that was PC or something. And so this one seems like a sequel, or at least some kind of like other title in that universe or whatever. That's just built of a bunch of different like little mini games where you have to just kind of figure out what to do. So it's like the whole premise of There Is No Game, like I said, I think there was an original one, is it just boots up with There Is No Game, and you have to like find the game on the screen. Like you have to figure out how to interact with the screen to like make something happen. And it keeps going through different screens, like basically saying like, you know, this isn't a game. Why are you playing it? And so it seems like in this case, it goes really crazy where it's like invading other games.
Yeah,
at least the style of other games.
I saw Papers, Please on there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that as well.
Yeah, I think there's actual crossovers, and then there's some things that are like just kind of inspired by. It's a Please paper. It's an advertisement.
Okay.
And it's in like kind of a Zelda style game. But yeah, so it's like jumping through different games.
Yeah, this whole trailer is just sensory overload.
Yeah,
like
but it looks
WarioWare
really cool.
on crack.
So I want to know what it is. That's why I'm curious.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. All right, moving on to obviously the cornerstone of this direct, which is Teenage Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
It's a side-scrolling beat-up inspired by the retro titles like of Turtles in Time. Collaboration between Dotemu, the publisher behind Streets of Rage 4, and Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap, and Flint Hook developer Tribute Games is coming to Switch later this year. Still no official release date, but just looking at the trailer, of course, sprite work is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cool to see like a fully realized spiritual successful to Turtles in Time. I don't care what anybody says, that is the definitive Turtles side action beat 'em up game, in my opinion. I played that on stream this past weekend, and I was super sick to do that. To see like all the turtles have unique animations, super moves. This is T. Lopes, who you may know. He did the music for Sonic Mania. He is doing the music for this. He will be doing the music for this. So I can't wait. I hope. Come on, give me a 8-bit version, 16-bit version of Ninja Rap, please. Fuck Vanilla Ice. Just give me Ninja Rap, okay? And then you can do it. Just give me the melody.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to play this game when it comes out. We'll do like a video on it with all four of us.
I hope it has 4-player online co-op or something, or maybe we can work something out through Steam.
I mean, I guess it does.
Well, Streets of Rage 4 does not have. It has 4-player local co-op, but only 2-player online. So there's no guarantee.
Oh, okay. Well, even 2-player online is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so next up is a game that I think a lot of people have their eyes on. It's supposed to come out last year, but was delayed. Yeah. Perpetual Nintendo Indie Showcase attendee Chris Tales, a gorgeous RPG from developers Dreams Incorporated. That's an awesome name. And Sick finally has a release date. It's due to launch on Switch on July 20th. There is an eShop demo that's out there now. Oh, yeah, so we've seen this game before. Yeah, I've had it downloaded, never played the demo. We've seen this game before, but just the fact that we're getting a release date, it still looks as gorgeous as ever. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to play this game. By the way, it is also getting a physical release. You can pre-order on Amazon. I think it's like $40 versus the $30 on the eShop. So go physical if you can, but if not, it's available digitally as well. And if you're not sure how to play, just try a little demo. It's out there now.
I like this trailer because it showed a little bit more of how the gameplay works. Like using the time manipulation in battle to like make enemies weaker and that kind of thing. I was always kind of confused about the time, like, you know, basically living in 3 time periods at once kind of confused me. So this helped make that make sense.
All right, so let's go through this next one. Developer Guru is bringing Getsu Fumanden Undying Moon. It's coming to next year. This one promises Roguevania 2D action built around high strategic martial arts style combat and unfolds across a beautiful underworld-inspired traditional Japanese EQ art. Here's the kicker, though. This is an old game this is number one published by Konami, and this is an old property that they had in the 80s on the NES.
Konami still makes games?
Well, they're not making this; they're just publishing it.
Well, they're co-developing.
They're co-developing. Okay. Thank you for the correction on that.
Because they're an indie developer now, you know.
I will say this game does look fantastic. The visual style is truly amazing. Like, I don't know what Getsu Fumaden is. It's not. When you think of Konami, you think of Contra, Castlevania, a whole bunch of other games. I don't think of this, but this does look cool and it has a unique art style. And of course, the roguelike does not scare me anymore, so I'm going ham on this. All right.
I think it's out, isn't it?
Is it? It doesn't say anything about it's out. It doesn't say here it's out. I'll check on the eShop, but I swear it's not there yet.
There's at least a demo or something. I saw someone playing it.
Okay, maybe it's a demo.
There's an early access in May 13th.
Oh, okay. All right. So next up is Aztec Forgotten Gods, developed by Lienzo, a 3D action adventure that tells the story of Akchi, a young Aztec woman on a quest that pits her against colossal ancient deities. It's due to arrive on Nintendo's platform this autumn. And Justin, I think you pretty much described this game as pretty much Phoenix Rising, but for Aztec culture.
Yeah. This looked incredible. Like, for one, I love that it's like it's a South American studio that just wants to like show off their culture, and I think that's really cool. But they're showing it off in a really like unique, interesting way with kind of the the fantasy elements and stuff. But it's paying homage to like the culture they love. But yeah, this looks like just a hyper stylized kind of Breath of the Wild like with Aztec cool gods and stuff, and that's dope. I can't wait.
I want to say, I will say, minor correction, Aztec is Central America because that is the basis of what Mexico becomes. So a minor correction on there. That's okay. Just for everybody.
I stuttered for a second. I'm like, I think I might be wrong, but I said it anyway.
Yeah, I think Mayan is more South American.
Yeah, okay. I get those confused. I'm so white.
So yeah, so this looks dope. So yeah, I definitely don't mind more representation of my people because I do have Aztec blood in me just because of how ancestry works. So yeah, that's really cool.
Are you a god? Are you descendant from a god?
I'm a descendant of King of Spain. I know that for sure.
Are you Kobo Khan?
No. Next up, developer Southpaw Games' Vibrant Skull, the Hero Slayer, describes an action-packed 2D roguelike 2D platform for the ages. It's making its way to Switch this summer. This is another one I didn't see, but just glimpsing at the trailer. I like the style. It looks really reminds me of Owlboy, just not as detailed, which may or may not be good depending on what you ask me about Owlboy. But I do like its presentation. Definitely reminds me like a kind of a hybrid between a Super Nintendo and a PlayStation game, in all honesty.
This is one I'd probably really like if it wasn't a roguelite.
I think you should give it a try regardless.
This is really giving me some Hollow Knight vibes.
Not art style, but gameplay for sure.
Yeah.
I like the head switching. Like, that's how you kind of get different powers.
Yeah.
That's the cap attack right there.
Honestly, I like the art style the most. Like, I love that kind of cutesy sprite look with like some darkness to it.
All right, so let's move on to this is do you want to switch to somewhere? It's Fun Skeletor's Art Rally, a striking, stylish top-down racer that Eurogamers are very much. Why are you including what you think of the fucking game in this? So yeah, it's pretty much just
that's why.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much like the cars kind of reminds me of like Sega Rally Racing a little bit, just not as much poly. The trailer doesn't go on, but hey, we could use more racing games that are not Forza or Need for Speed, so that's good.
That's fair.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about this one already, honestly.
Yeah. So next up is developer Stone Wheat and Sons Kiwi. Kiwi. I don't apologize if I don't know how this is pronounced.
Kiwi.
It's a chaotic Kiwi. Okay. A chaotic postal puzzler starring Kiwi. Oh, because it's Kiwi birds.
Yeah.
Okay. Starring tiny Kiwi birds, Jeff and Deborah. It's set to debut on Switch this August. This does look adorable. Kiwi birds are hilariously adorably small. So yeah, this will probably be a good co-op game for you and your friends.
I don't understand it. It seems like one of those like kind of Untitled Goose Game type things where it's just like nonsense. But that could be fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me more of Fogs, honestly.
Of what?
There's a... Yeah, it's basically you're a two-headed dog. It's a co-op game where you have to like solve puzzles, and you just share one body, but you're two dogs.
Yeah, so think cat dog, but dog.
Oh. Okay. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it kind of got self-released. We only know about it because VTubers play it. Or played it. All right, so next up is Labyrinth City. This is developer Darjeeling's adaptation of a children's book series. Pierre de Masse, Detective, is due this spring, sending players on a puzzle-strewn adventure across a gorgeous hand-drawn
Pierre
city.
the Mace Detective, you monster.
Pierre de Mace, Detective. In a bid to recover the mysterious Maze Stone. I won't lie. I don't know if I'll play this game visually. Like, if you're talking about recreating a children's book like you would see at the doctor's office, or like Where's Waldo, this is like...
I was just going to say, this is fucking Where's Waldo.
For sure.
It looks beautiful. Like, I just want to like watch somebody else play this game. I don't think I'd play it, but
I would have a hard time keeping track of my character.
Yeah, that does seem like a bit of an issue.
Where's my character?
Right.
All right. So let's move on. Weaving Tides. This is developed by Follow the Feathers. Unfolds across an immense textile landscape replete with Zelda-like dungeons. That's going to tickle Justin's fancy. Exploration and puzzle are the order of the day. Here, players need to deploy nifty weaving abilities of their flying mounts to progress. It's out on Switch this May. This looks really unique.
I don't remember this one, but yeah, it looks real cool.
Yeah, has a unique art style to it, a unique gameplay gimmick to it. I like the camera, so yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Weaving Tides, so remember that. All right, so here comes another big one that I had no fucking idea. It was part of this direct. It was never trending on Twitter because you people are idiots. The self-explanatory House of the Dead remake from Forever Entertainment, the same people who brought you Panzer Dragoon, and Megapixel Studio, the team, they fucking just repeated my words. So yeah, it's coming to Switch later this year. For those of you who don't know, House of the Dead 1 never got an official console port to like consoles at the time. Only the Dreamcast got House of the Dead 2, which is probably the one you remember the most. So like this looks great for an indie game, and like it looks like a faithful recreation of the first game. This looks fantastic, and I wonder how it's gonna work. Are you gonna have to use the Joy-Cons? Can you use the Pro Controller? Stuff like that.
Is there gonna be DLC for typing of the dead?
Yes, oh god, I hope so. That would be so sick. I would pay good money for that.
It looks like it's just analog, because like the cursor's just kind of still on screen, and then it moves around in a way that doesn't seem like the kind of erratic motion control, you know?
Yeah,
it looks like you're actually moving the cursor, like with a stick or something.
Yeah, I hope it gives you the option to use the gyro controls, either in the Pro Controller or the Joy-Cons. Yeah, because I feel like that would get you the ultimate experience of what this game's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hopefully, as you saw, Panzer Dragoon is successful, so they're remaking Panzer Dragoon Zwei. So hopefully, if this is successful, they'll remake House of the Dead 2, so we can get that one in there.
Someday, a successor will come, and it has come.
Is that G over there?
Yep.
Oh man, so many great moments playing in the arcade of playing House of the Dead 1. Next up is Ender Lily's Quietus. God, did you hear that? To choose that name of the Knights, described as a dark fantasy Metroidvania that'll tickle Justin's fancy. It's making its way on the Switch this June, on the 22nd of June.
Oh, my fancy's already tickled. Trust me. Also, speaking of Hollow Knight, this looks like Hollow Knight.
Totally.
Yes and no. I would say it's like more Ori, honestly, just because of the forest stuff like that. It's like if Ori was darker.
It's got that kind of gothic, like, darkness of Hollow Knight, though.
Yeah, but the areas here, just looking at them, they feel much more. You can breathe more. Versus Hollow Knight is very claustrophobic. So I feel like you have a lot more room to breathe. That's why I get more Ori vibes from it. Just Ori with a slightly different color palette. But it looks great. Nothing wrong with more Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be another piece to the collection.
I do wish we'd get more on the Metroid side rather than the Vania side, but I'm not going to complain. It still looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're into the last two games. Moving on. This is budding wildlife photographers can embark on an adventure across a magical ecosystem full of extraordinary creatures and beasts of Maravilla Island. From Banana Bird Studios, there are puzzles to be solved, animals to interact with, and of course, photos to be snapped when it launches on Switch this June. So this looks, just looking at the trailer. Did y'all have any thoughts on this game? Because I didn't see it.
Well, Pokemon Snap, what's going on here?
I want to know if Banana Bird Studios is inspired by Donkey Kong Country 3, but that's really my only thoughts.
Yeah, it looks like it definitely looks more open than Pokemon Snap for sure, because you're traveling on foot versus traveling on rails. There's definitely some unique creatures, high cute spider, and some very like mean looking creatures and evil looking creatures. So this will be a cool, like probably a relaxing game you play.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, moving on to the last one, which I really don't want to talk about considering the creator is a piece of shit. But anyways, going to talk about it anyways.
It's not the last one. We can skip it if you want.
Okay, yeah, we'll skip it. My bad. Okay,
everyone
so
knows
we're gonna
Fizz.
skip that one.
It's whatever.
yeah, but just I will never buy this game.
Right.
Hit that game. So yeah, the last game we're talking about is Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, the sequel to Night School Studio acclaimed narrative adventure, arrives later this year following the event of the first game. Riley returns to her hometown of Kamina, where mysterious revolving around yet more radio signals ensue. So I've seen this game, the first one around, but I never bought it. But that's cool that it was successful enough to warrant a sequel.
People really liked it, apparently. I have no idea what it is. Like, this whole trailer went through, and I'm like, is this supposed to be a big deal? This was like we have one more thing. I don't know what this is. And then it said the Oxenfree trailer title, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah, I saw people on my Twitter feed who were going crazy for it. Like, yeah, it's back. So that's cool. I'm happy for those people. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that is the news for today, gentlemen. It is now time to move on to the talk of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Just to give the poll, just to have the poll. The poll that won was your OC's MK Fatalities. So, basically what we'll be doing is we will be talking about our own characters' fatalities. Doesn't help that I can't hear that, but whatever.
I didn't think I'll...
So yeah, what we are Tyler, Justin, and I have created our own Mortal Kombat characters in celebration. Funny enough, it's fitting that it won the poll. That because today is the 10th anniversary of Mortal Kombat 9, the game that revitalized the franchise, and the Mortal Kombat movie comes out this week. So yay, numbers! So I'm going to let Tyler go first because I think he has the most creative one here.
Oh
Tyler,
shit! I have to go first.
Tyler, what is your... But Justin?
Oh.
Fatality.
There you go.
I'll get on it.
Okay, so this was a bit... this was honestly a bit last minute. Like, I didn't think this one would win the poll, but I honestly think that Justin's suggestion was going to win out overall, but...
next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. Basically, mine is basically like a parody character of sorts. Like, you ever see Godzilla vs. Megalon, which we talked about in Atomic Shot? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There's a character from that movie called Jet Jaguar, who is basically a sort of homage to Kamen Rider, Ultraman, that kind of thing. Except, if you've seen this character, he looks mega dumb, and it's great. And it works way better in context of the movie. So anyway, my character, if it hasn't been on screen, is called Copter Cat. Thank you, Justin, for the name on that. So yeah, it's basically a robot cat that has a big propeller on its head, and its fatality, if it ever gets into the Mortal Kombat mythos, I'm pretty sure it would make it into the PS2 era, because holy fuck, have you seen any of those characters' designs?
Hey. Hey. There's some gems in that generation too.
Yeah, Kenshi's great, but he's the only good one that stands out.
And Frost.
Yeah. Outnumber you. Sorry.
But yeah, he'd probably stand out there. He'd just do a whole bunch of Super Sentai punches and kicks, probably a few poses here and there. And as for his fatality, he will grow many times his size, much like Jet Jaguar in the movie that he's represented in, and just leaps up into the air in space and just helicopters down face first, and the propellers chop up the opposition.
Great.
I imagine that fatality's already been done before, and I might be combining a few here and there, but that's what I came up with, so yeah, it's whatever.
I'm not sure anyone has a propeller in Mortal Kombat.
Cyrax, it's one of the robot ninjas in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I think it's Cyrax. He literally flies
I think
up.
It's Cyrax.
He goes, and he literally flies down on you, sawing you down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember now.
But yeah. One of the few good fatalities in Mortal Kombat 3, to be honest with
you. Yeah.
That game is, at least the original one, is not that great with that. All right, Justin, what is your OC's
fatality?
Okay. I'm trying to also switch out things, so I was like mid-click, and I'm like, oh crap, fatality.
We're new to this. This is a new process. We're trying to make the show more fun.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'll admit my character isn't terribly creative, because it is like my literal OC that it's the character that Lo drew for me, but I wanted to go ahead and use it because I already had the art, and so I thought it'd be fun, more so than coming up with the character, to think of how that character would fit into Mortal Kombat. So yeah, mine is Zero, and he is somewhat similar to the Zero we all know and love from Mega Man, just a little bit more brutal.
What is he fighting for?
Death, mostly, and fame, maybe a little Vagine, whatever.
Iris.
He's basically like Zero in The Boys, if you think of it that way. So he's kind of the superhero of the team, like of the Mortal Kombat team. I mean, he's got his beam sword. He's very mechanical. So like he's actually, he doesn't have like superpowers or anything. He has a suit. So like the sword is a beam sword that he's like holding. And then he has like a repulsor beam basically in his hand. So it's kind of like Iron Man meets Zero, basically. But he also has like kind of a thing on his belt that lets him teleport around, similar to like Joker from Persona 5. So he's got some cool abilities still. Like he can kind of, he can bamf around, like slash you from behind, that kind of thing. So the first thing I think of is like the what's the like the big move, like when your meter is full, what's that called?
Crushing blow?
Yeah. Like I think of that first, which is kind of like what I think it's the Sub-Zero one, where he like throws you against the wall and then like stabs like spikes through your eyes or whatever. I think of it kind of like that, except he kind of like bamfs around behind you and like puts his hand against your back and like activates the beam sword, so it like shoots through your body, and then like shuts it off and like pushes you over, and then like repulsor beams your head. And like the reason I say that is because like whenever they show a trailer for a new character in Mortal Kombat, they always do just like some normal combat and then the crushing blow and then leading into the fatality. So I picture those two kind of hand in hand. But then his fatality would be I'm making this up as I go. I did not think of it beforehand.
Oh no,
dude, same.
Right? It's more fun that way. It's improv, little yes and action. So I had his power set and everything figured out. So he does kind of like a 3-shot repulsor, like head, chest, crotch. And then once he's created like his pilot holes, basically, he does sword into one hole, probably the crotch, let's be honest, and then just blades up the body. And so it falls like in half, basically. And then he rips the halves apart. I'm trying to think of he rips the halves apart and then teleports away. And like you see him basically like up in the sky and he like drops half of the body like in midair.
Oh.
And like his victory.
I'm just imagining after shooting the 3 holes, the parts that fall out are pretty much just like little jelly flabs, like in that one scene in Kung Pao.
Kind of, yeah. Like scorched holes and then like some remains on the floor. But yeah, so then it transitions into his victory screen, where he does like a cool like sword pose, and then the other half of the body falls behind him. Like out of the sky.
Awesome. That sounds cool.
Yeah, he's pretty brutal.
All right, so yeah, brutality. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality. All right, so next up is my original character. He is coached by Sandor. He is from Eastern Europe. He talks like this. He is a stage musician who stands at 6'2", and he is tired of the world ignoring him. So he hears words of Mortal Kombat tournament. So he dares to enter to prove that he is the best magician by kicking that much ass. So what is his fatality would be?
Wait,
well,
Ben,
I was kind of inspired.
What is his
fatality?
Okay, go.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I was inspired by WandaVision by this. First off, as you're like going, it would transition to a stage show. So all of a sudden, you're like in front of a studio audience, and like he's just kind of like, "Hey, everybody! Hello, it is me, Sandor. It is Sandor the Great." And all of a sudden, he pulls out a big ass cabaret, big ass cabaret. He's like, "This is my assistance as my keyboard fucking falls."
It's magic.
Whoops. Yes, it's magic. Oh boy, everything's fucking over me. Can y'all see me still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You didn't do a disappearing act.
Okay. Audacity's just fucking with me now. All right, hold on. Wow, where did it fall to? Jesus
I don't have a technical difficulty screen to flip to.
That's good. Okay. Anyways, so I'm just gonna roll. I don't even know if Audacity's recording right now. That's the problem. Okay. This is all right. Hold on.
I mean, you have your mouse.
It's literally not letting me close the specific menu, and I don't know why. Shit. Where did it fall to? I don't even see it. Fuck. Sorry, guys. Give me just a moment here. What the hell?
DMCA.
I see it. I see
Nice.
it. Okay. Hold on. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go. We should be back. I should be back. I think. No?
We're back. A dinosaur story.
Okay.
That's why I don't do wireless keyboards.
Well, normally I don't have it here, so... Oh, God. I have no idea what's going on right now. Okay. Everything's just kind of fucked up. Okay. Anyways, basically, he just shoves you into a giant cabaret. You don't see what's going on. and then it kind of like you just hear ooh, and then Sandor's just looking all amazingly gracious, and then all of a sudden he just opens it up, and you're just like bits and pieces. That's it.
I imagine it would just be a skeleton or something.
Oh my god, what the hell? Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah. That would be my fatality. Sorry about that, guys. I did not expect that to happen.
That was actually like mildly tame because I thought you would like, bring it, like, because you're always asking like, what would this character's fatality be and stuff. I mean, it's good. Like that, I'm not trying to say that, but like that could almost be in like Injustice, like it doesn't seem like it would have to be super bloody or anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the same thing happened in No More Heroes.
Listen, man, I didn't like Sandor doesn't want the stage to get bloody. So there you go.
Well, then maybe he shouldn't be in Mortal Kombat.
Well, okay, sorry. Let's go ahead and end the show because Audacity's pissing me off.
Okay.
All right, Justin, please plug your stuff.
You can find me if you look for Zero Score on Twitter or YouTube or Twitch. Like I said, I am still, chugging away at this Ratchet and Clank retrospective series I'm doing. I don't know how long it's going to be until I actually get a video out for it. I probably should have done these one game at a time, but oh well. And then, streaming here on the channel that this podcast is live on right now. 3 days a week, including the podcast day. So you can come Thursday or Friday, same bat time, same bat channel for different content. A lot of Zelda stuff right now because I'm not making videos on Zelda, so I might as well stream it. But I've got some plans for whichever one ends first. Probably Majora's Mask.
All right, and Tyler, please plug your stuff.
You can follow me on Twitter at Hey It's That Ty. The link right over here.
Hey, it's Daddy.
Hey, it's Daddy. I never heard that one before.
That's what it looks like when it's all in caps on screen right now.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's based on the "Hey, it's that dog" line from Resident Evil 4, except it's "Hey, it's me." But you can check the pinned tweet for my video on Tekken 3 for my video series called Tie Your Shoes Reviews. I am currently working on another one. Hopefully, it will be up by the time the YouTube version of this comes up. It'll be about Digimon Rumble Arena, which is the other game that I was playing this week, but didn't really want to bother bringing up because, I want to leave my thoughts for the video. Yeah. And I believe we also have the final foreseeable episodes of Atomic Shot coming up soonish with the watch-along and the review for Shin Godzilla. Nice. Just look up Atomic Shot on chartshot.com and any other place you can find our audio podcasts. Yeah, that's a really good episode that we put out, and the watch along was fun too. Though I strongly suggest watching Shin Godzilla before watching our watch along because we're a bunch of dumbasses that just I don't know.
Well, you watch the movie with us if you don't care about the movie.
You should care about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's one of the best ones.
Yeah, it's the best. And you can follow me at twitter.com/marvelousiggy for all things related to this Marvelous one. I'm determined to have my Earthbound video, if not up at the end of April, by the first week of May. It's still coming. Still haven't had the motivation to record just because of what's going on in my house, but it's still coming. No plans of cancellation at all, or taking any or going away or anything. It's just time and just playing other stuff. And of course, well, you can catch me live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Iggy214, where I stream 3 times a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, all at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then please go to chartshot.com for all home of our content, which includes Atomic Shot, the wrestling show, Chart Shot, the Chart Shot watch-alongs, and of course this very show, Chart Shot's Gamescast. And also you can join our Discord, which is in the link just in the I believe it's in the top right-hand corner of your screen. of the website. So join our Discord. It's fun. It's some good stuff always posting. I may or may not be posting honey things in the fan case Discord, but hey, come along and we're a good friendly bunch. It's a fun time to be. And of course, if you want to be a guest on chartshot.com, just at me on Twitter at MarvelSicky or at the Charge Shot on Twitter, and we'll try to work something out. As always, guys, sorry about the technical difficulties of the last few minutes of the show, as I did not mean to knock. Normally, I don't have my keyboard here. I got a little excited about my fatality, but it worked out overall. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next week for a new topic, more games, and more news. Until next time, guys, stay charged.
Later, guys.
Fatality.